Hey guys, Sean Bougie here, Saturday afternoon. It's a great Saturday. I'm going to go into, this video is going to cover backwards engineering tax sale overage lists. When you have only so much information, how do you get the rest of it so you can actually research it correctly and go forward? I get this question a lot. I did have a video up, but I'm going to add this video to our training. Those of you guys that know this channel realize there are certain videos that are up for a short period of time and then I take them down. So take notes, or if you're one of our members, you've gotten involved with us, purchase one of our products, it will be on that resources page shortly. You can go to surplusfundsriches.com and get one of two of our overage programs, or both of them. One of them is the National Surplus Funds Program. This teaches you how to do it on your own. It also teaches you how to work both tax and mortgage overages. It also gives you the option to be a researcher, where you research the debt and ownership of the property at the time of the sale. The reason for that being that, particularly in tax sales, sometimes they don't update the names. They're foreclosing against the property, not the person, and as a result, they don't necessarily feel the need to update the owner name. So you have to double check that, who the last owner was prior to the sale, because that would be the claimant. And that can change. People can sell the property right before tax sales, and especially if it's a quick claim deed situation. The other thing you got to check is debt, because if there was debt against the property prior to the sale, that debt, not the owner, has a priority claim to the overage or surplus funds or excess proceeds, whatever you want to call it. So you got to know if that's there, or else you're going to be wasting your time trying to reach people that aren't actually entitled to the money. All right. You can go to surplusfundsriches.com, click on products, and get either that one, the National Surplus Funds Program, or our new Premier 16 program. Also teaches you how to do it on your own, teaches you how to work mortgage and tax overages, but also gives you the option to turn files into us, just like the National Surplus. However, we pay you 16% instead of 8% of the gross, but obviously you got to do more work to get more money. So the way you do that is you also find the people, which by the way is not hard in tax sale overages generally, but anyway, you find the people and have a warm conversation to make sure they want to talk to us, and you got the right Tom Smith, the right owner. All right, so let's talk about backward engineering. And again, the video will be up for a short time, and then it'll just be available to our members. Backward engineering tax sale lists, because we get this a lot where people go, hey, I got a list, but it only has this and this. How do I go forward? Well, first and foremost, your list has to have a dollar amount, or should have a dollar amount of the overage. Okay? Should have a dollar amount of, this is tax sale only, guys, not mortgage. Should have a dollar amount. If it does not, the only way I'd go forward on it, and this is tax only, not mortgage, is if you have an opening bid price and an actual sales price. You can figure out, opening bid was 10 grand, that had to have been taxes in a tax sale situation. It sold for 30, there's $20,000 in overage. However, just so you know, guys, my rule of thumb, I take $1,500 off of that, because counties in a lot of states are allowed to charge a little bit of money to recoup if they used an attorney, an outside attorney, or just to have a plain money grab on it, okay? So I take that off, and I'd assume in that situation there was about $18,500 in overage. Now I would confirm with the court. If I got in touch with the people and put the deal together, I'd be confirming the exact dollar amount, obviously, at that point. But for now, let's assume this is where we're at, okay? We've got an opening bid and a final bid, and the difference is the overage less, let's say $1,500. Minimum we take on our programs, if you're going to work as a researcher, is $15,000. And the reason for that is we research the debt, the judgment debt for you, because you usually can't research judgment debt. You can usually research only debt that was actually applied against the house, liens and mortgages that are actually recorded in the Register of Deeds department, or the Land Records department of the county. One other caveat, little disclosure here. Guys, when you're using this information that I'm about to give you, do not use third-party systems. Use the government, the county systems for this stuff, right? Sometimes you're looking at city, but mostly it's county. Use their land records department. Use their tax department, okay? All right, so let's start. Let's assume you've got a parcel ID number and a dollar amount. Okay, so you know what the overage was, and you got a parcel ID number. Easy peasy. Now, counties sometimes will have two different tax-related departments. They can have a tax appraiser department and a tax collector department. Either way, the way you'd search it, let's assume you were searching, for example, it was called Bougie County, Nebraska. You would Google Bougie County, Nebraska real tax search, okay, or real estate tax search, or real property tax search. And you'll see where you're going to see a website that's county run. You'll see it'll be usually a .gov type site, but you'll see a site that's run by the actual county. That's their tax site. And the one you're looking for will have a search feature where you can put in the parcel ID number, and that will give you a number of different resources. By the way, sometimes if you can't find that, you can use the GIS system, Geographical Informational System, for that particular county. It's called GIS. Again, that would be Bougie, Nebraska GIS site, whatever. And you can plug in a parcel ID, and that'll give you the address and the owner information. Now, listen carefully. Tax departments do not update, most of them, their ownership information all the time. So that name may be the last name, the last owner, or the current owner. You'll be able to see, because they should show you owner, and a lot of times they'll give you previous owners, and they'll give dates as to when it changed hands. If they don't have a recent owner, but they have an owner, for instance, I'm recording this in 2019. I'm sorry, 2020. Good Lord. March 2020. Let's say you saw the tax sale happen January of 2020, and you see the owner changed. You saw an owner that had it at 2015, picked it up at 2015, Joe Smith, and then in 2020, January of 2020, you see Bob Ritter picked it up. Okay, well, obviously the claimant is Joe Smith for now. That was the owner prior to the sale. I'm saying for now for a reason, because the tax department might have missed a transfer, a deed transfer on the property. But for now, let's go with the fact that that's the person. You now have, thanks to the tax records, by being able to search by the parcel ID number, you now have an owner name, either the current or the last owner, and an address. That's going to help you a lot. Also, look for, when you're looking at that, a legal description. Hopefully it will have, a legal description as well, because that legal description will be found on deeds, transferring property ownership, and deeds of trust or mortgages that are basically IOUs to the bank. It's a mortgage. It's a recordation of debt owed to the bank against the property. Monster drink. Okay. So, now that you have that, you can go forward. I'm gonna come back to this. All right. Let's say you have a name and a dollar amount. Same thing. Use the tax records first to see to see what's going on. Hopefully you've got a date of the sale, by the way. If you don't, by the way, guys, if you're missing certain information, call the county and ask them. I have so many people that are scared half to death to pick up the phone and call the county. It is their job to provide information. Don't be a jerk, but it is their job to provide information, and if you ask them, they usually will. Okay, so let's say you got a name. Same thing, use the tax record, see if you can find the address and the rest of the information on there. Obviously, if it's a common name, you're going to have to go through a number of different records to find the right John Smith for that county. But again, by name, you can figure this out. Again, look for legal description when it gives the information on the property. It should be in there. Write that down, because that legal description will never change. Either will the parcel ID number, by the way. That's a number forever, okay? But it will never change throughout time, ever. They're not going to change They're not going to change the parcel ID number. They're not going to change the property description unless somebody sells a piece of it off, in that case, they will even reference the previous description, and you can still track all this stuff down. It's not that complicated, guys, okay? Let's say they give you an address. Same thing. Start with the tax department, whatever, either tax assessor or appraiser or collector, whoever has a search function on their site, county site, not deeds.com or whatever, county site, okay, and get the rest of this information. At that point, and only at that point, by having this information, you can apply the rest of our system as far as doing title work on the property. Okay? Couple of notes, because the rest of I've got other videos up already about title work, obviously for our members only, but it's not hard to do. But a couple of other little pieces of information here, guys. Do not get a tax result list, or rather, I'm sorry, a mortgage foreclosure results list, and think you can go buy that you can use that. I just saw recently someone out there that is a competitor, but a nice guy, and I know him. He actually bought our program years ago, and he put a video up saying, oh my God, you can't use the sale list on mortgage foreclosures. Well, of course you can't, guys. Mortgage companies don't open the bid always at the amount owed. So you don't know if there's an overage or not. You can't say, oh, the opening bid was 100 and sold for 200, so there's 100 grand in overage. There might have been 200 owed to the bank, and they started the opening bid at 100 just to get your attention, just to get people to start bidding on it. They don't do that typically in tax sale overage or tax sales. Okay, they don't start the bid at a different number other than what's owed. All right. So you can go by parcel ID. This is my little list. Parcel ID number, you can figure out from that usually the owner name and the address. Okay. You can also, if it has a book and page, you can go, this is something I missed earlier. So if it shows you a book and page number of the property being foreclosed, and this is rare, usually it's parcel ID, but if it's book and page number and then a dollar amount, the book and page is going to be in the land records or the Register of Deeds department for that county. So, Bougie County, Nebraska, right? Register of Deeds. Go to the county site. Don't go to deeds.com. Go to the county site. Look that up. Okay? Plug in that book and page, and you will see all the records pertaining to, or rather the deed pertaining to the transfer of the ownership at that time. Okay, and when you start opening deeds, guys, you always see from to the tax guys usually in their tax deed will reference the previous owner they're foreclosing on, tax deed sale and the new one. Now, one final note, and I can't believe people screw this up, but they do. People are looking at tax lien sale information. Guys, the property was not transferred in a tax lien or tax lien certificate or tax certificate sale. Okay? So they have a bid on that, and people bid on that in order to get a certain return. Sometimes you're willing to take less of a return. Anyway, people bid on returns. They bid on the property, not the property, but the debt itself sometimes. That is different. You're looking for tax deed sales when you're looking for tax overages. Understand that. Understand that. Okay? Don't be looking at a list of tax lien sales. That's a waste of your time. Okay. Guys, we answer pre-purchase questions. If you go to surplusfundsriches.com, that's our website. You can click on products and you can see the National Surplus Funds Program pays 8%. If you want to be a researcher, also teaches you how to do it on your own, teaches you how to work mortgage and tax overages. Or Premier 16, same thing, but gives you the option to work with us more as a partner. We give you 16% of the gross as a partner. You research not only the debt and the ownership, but also have a warm conversation with the person, turn it in. They're available at surplusfundsriches.com. At this recording, March 21st, 2020, they're $497 a piece, or we're offering, because a lot of people can't make up their mind how to go with it, you can get it bundled together for $597. So save almost $400 doing it that way. A lot of people do that because they figure down the road they're going to move up. Anyway, guys, I hope this has helped. But the tax department really is the key to a lot of this. Sometimes register deeds if you got book and page numbers for references, but that's extremely rare, okay? Just be careful. Once you got all that, the information I just talked about, you can use that to look for deeds and deeds of trust, mortgages against the property that existed prior to the sale to determine if there was other debt in a way that has a priority claim. And we teach you how to do all that. It's not hard, guys. We teach you how to do that on our system. Hope this has helped. Again, surplusfundsriches.com. Put your name and email address on the right side of the box. You'll get on our newsletter. Also, this will be on YouTube for a while anyway. Like our YouTube channel, you'll get updates on that. And there's a link on Surplus Funds Riches to our Facebook page. Go ahead and click on that and like or follow, whatever the heck it is, our Facebook page. Also, guys, I encourage comments to any video that I put up, and love to hear from you. If you have any further questions or whatever, I'd happy to do that. I am not going to answer questions on, okay, what do I do next? That's already covered in our program. It's basic title work. It's not hard to do. We teach you how to do it.